Whether you were denied a promotion at the office or you didn't qualify for any competition, failing feels bad. Many people will go to a great length to avoid failing so they don't have to feel painful emotions. But there are many reasons why you might be feeling like a failure, and they are a sense of hopelessness, anxiety, depression, feeling of helplessness, lack of supportive relationship, low esteem, making comparison with others, negative self-talk, unrealistic expectation. If you find yourself thinking I am a failure, it is important to know that there are things you can do to feel better. Knowing how to deal with failure in a healthy way takes some of the fear out of it. It might reduce the pain so you can bounce back better than before. Embrace the emotions. A 2017 study published in the Journal of Behavioral Decision Making says you should not try to slough off feeling bad after failure. Researchers discovered that thinking about your emotions rather than the failure itself is most helpful. Allowing yourself to feel bad is motivating. It can help you work harder to find a better solution so that you will improve next time. Recognize unhealthy attempts to reduce pain. Distracting yourself or filling the void you feel with food, drugs, or alcohol won't heal your pain either. Those things will only provide you with some temporary relief. Recognize the unhealthy ways you try to avoid the minimize in your life, turning to coping mechanisms that do more harm than good. Practice healthy coping skill, calling a friend, practicing deep breathing, taking a bubble bath, going for a walk, or playing with your pet are just few examples of healthy ways to deal with your pain. Not every coping skill works for everyone, however, so it's important to find what does for you. If you struggle with a bad habits when you are stressed out, like smoking or eating junk food, create a list of healthy coping skills and hang it in a prominent place. Then use your list to remind yourself when you are feeling bad. Acknowledge irrational belief about failure. You may have developed some irrational belief about failure at some point in your life. Perhaps you think failure means you are bad, that you will never succeed, or maybe you think no one will like you if you fail. Those types of beliefs are inaccurate and they can prevent you from doing things where you might not succeed. Make a point to identify the irrational beliefs that might be impacting your feelings and behavior. Develop realistic thoughts about failure. A 2016 review published in Clinical Psychology Review examining reactions to failure found that more positive attributional style was a strong factor in how resilient people were to the emotional distress caused by failure. In other words, seeing the failure as a result of something specific and external rather than something internal. When you find yourself thinking that you are a hopeless cause or that there is no use in trying again, reframe your thoughts. Develop realistic thoughts about the failure. Remind yourself of more realistic thoughts about failure, such as failure is a sign that I am challenging myself to do something difficult. I can handle failure. I can learn from my failures. You can need to repeat a phrase of affirmation toward of negative thoughts or to reinforce to yourself that you can bounce back. Accept an appropriate level of responsibility. It is important to accept an accurate level of responsibility for your failure. On the other hand, blaming other people or unfortunate circumstances on your failure will prevent you from learning from it. When you think about your failure, look for explanations, not excuses. Identify the reasons you failed and make action plan accordingly. Research famous failures. From the Thomas Edison to Walt Disney, there are no shortage of famous failure. Spend some time researching famous people who have failed. Many successful people continue to fail regularly. Actors get rejected for roles, players not getting in their team in the final play, and business owners get turned down for deals. Study what they did to bounce back. You might learn skills that can help you in your own life. Face your fear of failure. If you have spent most of your life avoiding failure, it can feel really scary when it finally happens. Facing your fears, however, can be the key to reducing the discomfort. Practice stepping outside your comfort zone. Do things that might get you rejected, or try new things where you could fail. Over time, you will learn that failure is not as bad as you might imagine. Ask yourself what you can learn. Failure can be a great teacher if you are open to learning. Did you make a mistake? Did you make a whole series of mistakes? Think about what you could do differently next time. And in the last, instead of seeing a failure as a burden weighing you down, look at it as a stepping stone towards your goal. Thank you.